Hello and welcome. My name is Kathy A. and today I'm going to do a show all about the brand called CATRICE. Now if you watch my Essence special, which I'll link it below, I talk about the history of Essence Cosmetics, and then in that video it explains that the master company that makes Essence branched out and also makes CATRICE Cosmetics. Now I think they're based out of Germany. And they were sold all over Europe and all over the rest of the world, but for some reason we couldn't get it here in the United States. But about 2 months ago, Ulta decided to take up the CATRICE line. And I like that Ulta's doing that. They're also doing Makeup Revolution, which is a London brand, which I really am looking forward to, and that'll be my next full face thing, because that's coming in a couple of days. But CATRICE is an interesting line. It's made for people who are over 25. Essence makeup is generally geared towards younger women and men in their teens or in their early 20s. And so they have CATRICE for the old folks and they have Essence for the young folks. Unfortunately, I think I like some of the Essence cosmetics better in some cases, such as the lipsticks and lip liners. So let me just do a little demonstration for you. I'll do a little voiceover and I'll be back with you. And I'd love to know if you've tried any of the CATRICE products and what you think of them, because I'm always game to try more. There were more products to try, but I wanted to get a good all-around impression of this line, and well, you be the judge. Be back with you soon.
Alright, haha. Let's start this off right away. This is the Prime and Fine primer, and it's kind of like a cream. It feels almost like a face cream in a jar. And it goes on rather nicely, actually. It does fill a little bit. I'm in fast motion here, so this doesn't have to drag on too long. Now, this is the foundation called All Matte and Shine Control Makeup, the Pro All Matte and Shine Control Makeup in Vanilla Beige. Absolutely gorgeous makeup. It goes on really easily. Usually I put makeup on with a very dense brush or a beauty blender. And this is the first layer. It's a nice medium to medium light coverage. Does not show your pores, does not sink into your wrinkles. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I have a couple of trouble spots and a little uneven skin, so I'm just going to put another little light layer on. I'm going to blend it in with my fingers, and I always think fingers are the best tool anyway. This foundation, even though it's shine control and matte, and that's not generally made for dry skin with wrinkles, this worked really well with my skin, so I can only imagine that you folks with the oily skin might like this as well. It's a very nice foundation. Now this is the Retouch Light Reflecting Concealer, and this is in the lightest shade, and I like to kind of go all over and then blend it with a synthetic brush, but because this has such a little setup time, I actually had to melt it in with my fingers a little bit because it had already pretty much dried, and a regular makeup brush wouldn't have been able to blend it in. There wasn't really a powder that was affordable in this line, and so I just used my Too Faced Primed and Poreless. Now this is an illuminating blush in Coral Me Maybe, number 20. And I think this is an absolutely beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, creamy blush. Looks very natural, and it just goes on really beautifully. But you're going to see even by the end of this demo, the blush seems to fade out to nothing. This next one is the CATRICE Illuminating Highlighter Pen. There only seems to be one color in this, and it's kind of a nice kind of creamy liquid highlighter, but it's hard to control how much comes out of the pen, and it gets glopped up in there fairly easily. I'm putting it above and below my eyebrows. So this wasn't bad, this particular item. But this one, the bronzer highlighting pen, I was a little confused by it. A big blob came out, and it's kind of a rose gold color. And I figured, okay, well, I'll put it on with a brush or my fingers all over as a bronzer, because it just seemed awfully light and shimmery to be any kind of a contour. And I just had trouble with this product, and maybe it's just me. It's a user error. Yep, thumbs down. Okay, this is the Velvet Matte Eyeshadow in Vanity Fair. This is very highly pigmented, very beautiful. I love the formula. And you can actually see it. It's kind of a light whitish cream color. It's a really good base color, I think, because the other colors will pop when you put them on it. I did like this formula on this one. However, I didn't like this one. This is the Absolute Rose palette in Frankie Rose to Hollywood, number 010. I love the names of these products, but you know what? That doesn't really hold soup when you're trying to put it on your face. So I'm just trying the two lighter shades as highlighter and as lid shades. And that's a scrawny little pencil brush that comes with it. I had to dip into my Tartelette palette just for a crease color because there were no good crease colors in this line. I'm just blending it out a little bit with my hand just to get a crease color in there to offset the shimmery purples that are in the Rose palette. And I do use my fingers a lot. People kid me about it. Okay, now we're back to the Rose palette, and this is the darkest shade. I'm putting it on with their scrawny little brush. And you can control it, but it's sloppy. And this is the darkest shade in the palette, which isn't too bad. And then I am trying to use my finger with it and the color next to it to just kind of blend it out a little bit. And it's not too bad, but there's fallout. You can see just below my eyes there's some fallout. And I'm using the central color there on my lid to just kind of merge all the colors. Now this is a Kohl Kajal liner in Clio Petrol, and I ordered this from online. And petrol, to me, I know in Europe they call gasoline for your car petrol, and I just didn't think turquoise blue was going to be the color. I thought it was going to be more of a grayish color, but this is more of a teal, dark teal blue. And I'm just trying to blend it out with that silly little brush that they give you in the kit. I'm going to add a few more colors, I think, just to soften it up a little. Now this is one of the liquid metal eyeshadows. This is a nice formula if you use it with an eye primer or a water. It makes it a little bit more intense, but it's not very pigmented on its own. And it works pretty well with the water. You can see it fairly well. Now I'm just demonstrating just plain old with my finger, and then I'm going to put some water on my hand and put it on there, and you can see it's a lot more intense with the water. Now this is the long-lasting brow definer in number 10 James Blonde, and I had to have something in my makeup collection called James Blonde. They should have numbered it 007, I think. But this was kind of one of those long felt tip pens that doesn't have any kind of control on it. I didn't really like it. And I'm curling my lashes for 8 seconds on each side, which I hate to do. This is the Tarte Eyelash Curler, nothing special about it. This is the Better Than False Lashes Volume Mascara in Ultra Black. They had probably 6 or 7 different mascaras in this line, and it was really hard to decide which one to get because they all said they would make your lashes look spectacular. This one got some good reviews, so I tried it, and you can see it immediately gives me really quite big honking lashes, which is what I love. It is a little bit messy because the brush is quite large, and there's little tiny fibers within the formula, and they ball up, so you have these tiny little balls at the end of your lashes, and they tend to clump together. I'm using my e.l.f. makeup remover pen to just take off some of the splats on my skin that I got there. And I'm just doing the other side, and it goes on very quickly, very easily. You do get big honking lashes, but again, they do clump together a little bit, and you get that 4 big lashes kind of effect. At the end of the day, this was difficult to take off, and so I'm not sure. It's love-hate, because I'd love to have a nice drugstore price mascara that I can use. And it didn't leave dings. I mean, it worked out. Now this is the Catrice Ultimate Stay Lip Liner in Mauve Me Tender, number 80. I really like this. Very nice and creamy. It held its shape. It didn't bleed out into the lines. And it's a really nice color in general. It looks very natural on. And now this is the lipstick. This is Catrice Luminous Lips, number 70. What's Apricot? And it's very soft. You can see it bent right over. I don't know if it's because it's hot outside and it affected it or what, but even worse was this Pure Shine Color Lip Balm in Sheer Your Mind, number 100. Absolutely, totally loosey-goosey, wobbly, very, very messy, and it would not be solid.
Well, that's the Catrice look, and I guess I have to say that in general, I'm really not that impressed with it, and I really wanted to like this brand because I love Essence, and I love the fact that Catrice colors and textures and things were all kind of geared towards older folks, but I think one of the most disappointing things was this, and this is the one of the palettes. This one is called Rose, and I think there's another one called Warm or Brown or something like that. But you know, I need another neutral brown palette, like a hole in the head. So this Rose palette, it actually arrived with this one broken, and I used some alcohol and poured it into a separate little thing and scraped it back in and let it dry, and it hardened, and it actually works just as well as it did. However, none of these colors are very pigmented and they don't last. And this purple on the end, the dark, you can't even see it anymore. I was just really disappointed. And the light shade, the pink, even though initially it looks like it goes on great, it disappears off into the wild blue yonder of eyeshadow universe. So this was a fail. The palette was a fail, but totally different formulation, I'm sure. These are the Velvet Matte eyeshadows, and this one is Vanillity Fair, which is, I think, a takeoff on Vanity Fair. Beautiful, beautiful color and beautiful pigmentation, but I'm not sure that this lasts very long either. This is another one of those things, looks great, and an hour later you wonder if you have any makeup on at all. I wore this all week long. I had high hopes. I tried different configurations of the shadows. Not too good. Now the eyeliner, I initially liked the color of the eyeliner, but it's very, very hard and it tugs on your eyelids. Do you hear the kids? They're moving today. I'm so psyched. They are moving today. And the poor father and grandfather are trying to lift all the heavy furniture down the stairs, and the kids are just all underfoot and screaming and yelling, and anyway, I'm just so happy to see them go. Anyway, this was kind of confusing. I don't know if I liked it or hated it, because initially it gives these beautiful big honking lashes, and it doesn't leave dings on your upper lids. It is a little bit messy to use because the brush is so large, but I did like the look that it gave me. However, at the end of the day, when I went to take this mascara off, there were tiny little welled up balls of fibers. I think there's fibers in here, but sometimes with fibers in mascara, if it's already in the mascara, sometimes they'll bunch up a little bit. So there are all these tiny little beads of something on my eyelashes. If you get really close, and not many people do, you would see them, but from a distance you can't really see them. It looks nice. So I liked this. It was only like $5 or $6 for this mascara, and I thought it was a great deal. So this is called Better Than False Lashes. They had about 6 different mascaras on Ulta, and I didn't know which one to do. But I did look at some of the reviews some of the people had put up already, and this one seemed to have good reviews, so I decided to try this one. There's another one called Doll Face that apparently people like as well. The lip pencil was great. I thought that that was a perfect, it worked really nicely and it went on creamy. I really did like that. Now both of the lip products to me were very disappointing, and one of the things you saw, it's a very soft formula, like literally soft, physically soft, and it you put it on your lips and it in anything less than I don't know, it's kind of warm outside, but in here it's, I'd say, about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which, you know, it's not that warm, but this this thing never felt like it even was solid, and this crayon. And it gave a nice little glow. The lipstick was very moisturizing. The color's okay, not bad. But I think I would pass on these. I like the lipstick formula for Essence better than the Catrice, so I can't recommend that. I can recommend the lip liner, but not the lipsticks. Now the liquid metal eyeshadow, this one's called What Do I See? S-E-A. Beautiful, beautiful. It's a sparkly kind of dark turquoise color. And unfortunately, it doesn't have very much pigment, but I had seen Tati review these, and she said that when you add water to them, it does make them more pigmented, and it does. But I think out of the two formulations, I prefer the matte velvet. But these two were very good. I think that they worked out just fine. I like the blush. I think it's very, very nice. It does disappear probably around the second hour, and you can already see it's not as bright as it was. So I don't know what happens to this blush, but it just seems to wear off or I don't know, evaporate, I don't know. But I like the color, I like the way it went on. It's a really pretty formulation. It's got a little bit of shimmer to it. You've got some dark and light, so you can kind of vary up the color a little bit if you like, to make a different tonal quality to it. The brightening concealer had a very short setting time, so the second you put it on your face, you got to work it right away, or it dries and then you're pulling on your eyes, which you don't want to do. I just, you know, because I go all over my face and then I go over and try to smooth it in, and that's not a good way to work with this. But this is a brightening concealer called Light Reflecting Concealer, and I did like it a lot. I thought it worked really nicely, but again, very short setup time. So my favorite in this line was this foundation, and this is not even a foundation really that was made for me and my skin type. I have dry skin with wrinkles, and this is an all matte plus shine control makeup. I don't have any shine to control, so I was surprised that I really liked this a lot. It's a really pretty foundation on, and it took like 1.5 goes with this. The first series, look, I got stripes from that stupid blush. Oh my god, that was awful. Bronzer thing. I didn't like that bronzer. Ugh. Yeah, this foundation was nice, and it did wear really well. This is one of my favorites for July. I put it in my favorites. I think this is the best thing in the line that I tried. I would totally recommend this foundation, and I think it's only around $8 or $9, so this was definitely a star player in the Catrice line. So all matte plus shine control makeup. Go figure, me with the dry skin. Another huge fail was the bronzing pen. I don't know how you would use this all over your face. If you put it on your hand and then maybe took a brush of some sort, you know, and then put it all over your face, maybe you could do it. But as far as bronzing with just this, I never heard of spot bronzing before. But that's the only way you could do that. And then you can't contour with it. It doesn't contour very well at all. So it's not a contour item at all, and the brush to me seems very impractical. And the color itself is almost like a rose gold highlighter. It's not even a bronze, really. I mean, it is glowy and it is shiny, but I was disappointed, and I don't think the format is proper for a bronzing item. Now the Catrice Prime and Fine, I really did like this. There's a slight medicinal scent to it, and I mean, I don't mind in primers if there's a pretty scent, I don't mind, but the medicinal thing kind of put me off a little bit. And it does fill in your lines, and it does look really nice when you put it on. So I did like the primer. except for the smell. I thought that the primer was good. So all in all, I'd say there were more fails than fabulous in this particular line, and I'm really disappointed because I wanted to love it. I will be trying a few more things from the line further down the road, but I thought I'd give you just a quick overall view of what I've tried so far, and I hope you've enjoyed that. So anyway, everybody, I hope you're having a fabulous weekend and a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.